Yeah.
Like, I want to be like Gopali.
But I am a hilarious person.
I can't manage. It's a chaos behind the scenes. And I hate that process.
You're pretty much thinking of everything on your own.
If I meet anybody, I overshare and I regret.
I will physically feel pain in my chest or in my stomach if I don't express my thoughts.
Internet being more sensitive.
Just things are taken way more seriously, and what upsets me sometimes is out of context.
Meme pages just take things out of context, blow it up.
The first thing that is going to happen is sponsors are going to pull back.
You want to call some brand out.
Moving structure within the influencer space is so unorganized.
One brand is just denying that we have made a video like, am I worth it? Am I worth it? I am very bad at negotiating.
Every day, there will be a better creator than you who's come up. In the stream of relevancy, somewhere you will get lost.
My parents also heard few things like I'm not single.
So I feel like we should talk about money a little bit.
I can easily make like...
Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode of The Real Deal with me, Anam C. Today's episode is all heart, but it's also all smiles. I have the two very funny and amazing people, Gopali and Supriya, with me in today's episode. Both of them have really been generous with how much they've shared on the behind the scenes of being creators related to the realm of comedy in today's times. Both women creators go into the emotions and psychology of what it takes to be in this space and not just survive, but also thrive. I love that we talked about money, we talked about psychology, we overanalyzed and underanalyzed various aspects of our life, and they really shared everything, no holds barred. It's going to be a good episode, so come along. Let's get started. Hi Gopali, hi Supriya, welcome to my podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
I'm really excited for this because I feel like the vibe that both of you have, both online and offline, is very chill. You're very naturally funny people and just great company. So it's a conversation I'm personally really looking forward to.
If you call me funny as like Supriya, I'm glad. I've been a huge fan of her.
Oh, thank you so much, but likewise. I mean.
You also started out with doing comedy sketches and stuff.
Yes, nobody watched that, but I started with that.
Okay, so let's start with that then, because I feel like while I think you do more travel and lifestyle and food challenges that I personally love to watch also. You started out with comedy. How did that come about? Were you always called the funny child in school? Give us a little bit of backstory.
I guess in my family, it runs कि कुछ भी बुरा हो रहा है तो उसको comedy से हम भर देते हैं. Like, even if somebody has died, the next day we are laughing. I mean, it's very sad, but that is how it, अब मुझे समझ आ रहा है. So always it has worked like that. So I was not the funny child, but while I was in college, I just got to know that you can make videos, you need to talk, and you can get paid for it. And I was like, ये scam लग रहा है मुझे, पर मुझे करना ही है. So I just began that with one of my friend, and that time sketches were a thing, like blogging and all of that back in 2015 or 16. Vlogging was not a thing. So I started with sketches and like types of this, types of that videos. I did that for good 3 years. Nobody watched it. And then I decided to make another channel, and here I am.
So that this is a separate channel from even Gopali too, because actively you have two channels.
Yeah, actively I have 2 channels. But this is like another channel. Nobody knows about it. I don't want anybody to know about it.
Oops. I thought I was talking about Gopali too.
No. So Gopali 2 though came when shorts came into the, page. So I was like, I want to make a separate page for it. But this was a whole different channel where I worked for good 3 years. And that was the time I used to get tana from idhar udhar ki ye to internet pe to nahi chalta hai, dekho itni mehnat karo, padhai karo. And that actually did not work. So
and then you went on to launch your channel, Gopali.
Yes. So I guess while I was doing that channel particularly, I was also in not need of money, but वो एक hunger होती है ना कि I want to earn my own money. So I got to know if you click on ads, you are going to get money. I told all of my friends, I guess we should click on ads, so we'll get money. So it was all very chaotic back then. We had no idea how it works. So the channel was almost dead, but it was like my dead baby जिसको मेरे को नहीं छोड़ना था. It's like, I worked very hard on it. And but then I decided ki I will not tell anybody that I have made another channel, and I will do what I love. And in those 3 years, I got to know about vlogging. I got to know about myself more, that what I enjoy doing more. And I guess I'm good with, say, talking. I'm only good with talking, so I just do that now.
Listen, it's great to be good at talking and get paid for it. It's
Absolutely.
genuinely a real talent, because help me if I remember the numbers correctly. On Gopali 2, you've crossed 1 million. On Gopali, you're very close to 1 million.
Yes.
And then on Instagram, of course, your engagement and your content is killing it. Do I remember the numbers correctly?
Yes, you
So if
remember
you-
the numbers correctly.
So if you are good at talking enough to be at 2 million, collectively, that's
Yeah.
really not bad at all.
Yes, I'll take that as a compliment. But I think Abna, I'm getting bad with my talking. I mean, I think with internet being more sensitive, I think whenever पहले ऐसा होता था, I used to tell anything. If I जो भी मेरे मन में आ रहा है, I used to tell, I'm like, I'm least bothered what anybody is going to think. But now with time, I think like अगर मैंने इसे ऐसे बोला, बॉल्ड लोगों का सेंटिमेंट हर्ट हो जाएगा. सो आई एम रैंडमली थिंकिंग अबाउट लाइक रैंडम थिंग्स कि दे विल गेट हर्ट, दिस विल गेट हर्ट, और एल्स आई विल गेट कैंसल्ड. सो आई जस्ट
I definitely want to touch upon that at some point. I want to get to Supriya, but I want to come back to this topic at one point about how much what we read about ourselves online, whether it's gossip forums, whether it's comments, can affect us. And I definitely want to come back to that. But I've been wanting to ask you this question, and I've been saving it for this moment. Where does Super Woman, like the whole title, come from?
Okay. So here's the whole backstory of where Super Woman came from. Okay. So back in the day, I think I suppose 2008, when Twitter had just launched. So I kept my username as Super, just Super, because that's my pet name. My friends call me Super. And so I kept that as my username. But now the thing was, not to brag, but I am a hilarious person. Okay.
We agree.
I am very funny. Okay. So, and I was very funny on Twitter as well. Now, because Supar is a very androgynous name, you don't know who is this. Is this a man, woman? Who is behind this? So a lot of people misgendered me. They used to think I'm a guy. And I thought that was very offensive. Like, how can you assume that this funny person is a guy?
There you go.
So that's it. I just added woman behind Supar, and Supar woman was born.
Listen, I like this backstory a lot.
Yes.
It just
That's
makes
the
sense.
only reason. And to also add that there is also Lily Singh Superwoman.
Right.
And a lot of people think, have you just copied off her name? But I would like to on record say that Superwoman was born before Lily Singh's channel Superwoman was born. So she has not copied me again. She doesn't know I exist. But yeah, there's a Supergirl or Superwoman also. I don't know. Is there a Supergirl? I don't know.
Not that I know of.
There's a Superman. We know that.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, my name Superwoman came from just me wanting to establish my gender identity as the funny person behind this ID is a woman, not a man.
That it's such a logical backstory. Wait, do you mean Supergirl in the sense in the comics, or do
The
you mean
comics, yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
DC,
there is. I
yeah.
thought you meant like a creator that
No,
goes
no,
by
no.
Supergirl.
Yeah.
I also want to ask you. You started from like comedy, but over a period of time, you've talked about a lot of topics. You talk about body positivity. You also do beauty content. You used to work with AIB.
Yes.
Do I have my facts right?
Yes.
Did you feel like that helped you along the way somewhere in kind of forming this platform for yourself also?
Yeah, absolutely. I think before AIB came along, I didn't even consider that I would ever have a career that is camera facing or anything in comedy. I had no clue. I was just a regular 9-to-5 job. It's just that I started making vines only because I was so bored at work. And I was like, where can I let my creative this thing come out? And with no expectations, I just started making those Vine videos, which is where Tanmay from AIB noticed me, and he would like tweet, and those would be like big blast days in my office, because anytime Tanmay would tweet, just sitting here fangirling over Superwoman's Vines, I would just stop the clock, everyone. Look at what
that's so cool.
That is very
Yeah.
cool.
Nice tweeted. And then that's how I eventually got a job at AIB, got to learn so much about not just comedy in general, but about my own voice in comedy. Like, what do I bring to the table? What is something that I want to talk about? What are things that I find funny and relatable, which I'm sure other people will feel the same way. So, when it comes to talking about things about, like standing up for yourself, your body image, stuff like that, it is just a natural extension of who I am. And if I can speak, and even makeup actually, it's just something I love so much and I'm so passionate about. And all of this, if it becomes part of how I speak, then it's not just one thing, I can do everything. And I enjoy that a lot.
I'm so glad you took that moment of validation from someone on the internet and like literally built a career from starting from there, because he's one of the OGs in comedy when it comes to the Indian comedy scene. And back in those early AIB days, I don't think stand-up was the way it is today at all.
Yeah.
And today, no matter what industry you're in, everyone has to be on social media.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter where you are to have a voice and to use your voice. Everyone's using their platforms.
I used to work at Better Photography magazine. I was a senior features writer there. And yeah, that was my job. I wrote about cameras. I interviewed photographers, and it was really good. I that was like the job I did for 5 years.
Oh wow!
And in the 5th year is when I got into AIB.
But you've always been into the writing space, into the creative space in that sense.
Yeah.
But like, do you feel like social media content in that sense is a faster turnaround than obviously writing for a magazine, but also for stand-up? I feel like things go on for months till you actually finally get to present it, fine-tune it the way you want and show it to the world, right? Do you feel social media in that sense is a little bit of a faster, easier turnaround, relatively speaking?
I wouldn't say easier, honestly, but it is faster. But with say writing long form per magazine, you know exactly the outcome of your writing, where it will go, and it'll be in a set format every time. But with social media, everything is changing every second. Yeah. So if today I write a script for something like a funny video, suddenly that thing is just like nobody cares anymore. Now, what's the next thing? So even if the turnaround is faster, it has to be incredibly fast so that you still stay relevant to that trend or whatever is going around right
Agreed.
now.
Something that I think this person to your left, Miss Gopali, is great at, because I feel like they're both traveling, both the sisters, and they're on the trip. And I feel like I'm watching this trip in real time.
Yeah.
Because there are shorts about them packing. There's shorts about their day in the life, what they've eaten on the day. How are you managing this bandwidth? Like, what's the secret?
I can't manage. It's a chaos behind the scenes.
It's clearly working.
I mean, I think if I keep the content with me, I'll post it later. It is always something that I personally don't relate to. And I personally feel that after a week that I can't connect to my own content after a week. If I see a video which I filmed a week ago, I feel like, ये तो मैं कुछ अलग ही हूँ, अब मैं ये नहीं हूँ. So I think real-time content actually works. It is very difficult to post real-time. I will agree to it. So with my recent trip, I did try कि I will film it, I'll edit it aram se and I'll post it, and I hate that process. So I guess it just comes from within that I would like to do everything in real time. That is how it works. And also because my audience is coming to see me, what I'm trying to do. So there, even if I limit down thoda sa edit, thoda sa comedy, what I'm doing is what they want to watch. So it's easier for them to give like real time updates. And I guess a good team is very, very important. I've learned that lesson very late, but it is very important to have a good team which can actually help you and also push you post on time. Because a lot of times I feel like now I've been like, if I'm doing long form, it is very difficult for me to be very actively posting on short form. So I have a team member who's just pushing me. You need to post this. We have edited this. Come on, let's post this. So it's very important to have right team members with you as well. I mean, right now I give good credits to my team members when it comes to short form content creation, because long form is something which comes within from me. right now even the long form is the most least paying job that I'm doing, but still I believe I love doing that, and my team actually pushes me to do short form more.
Wait, so even when you're on the go and you're doing like real-time content, you're not actually the person editing it then? Like your team is editing?
Yeah, sometimes I'm editing, sometimes my team is editing, sometimes my sister is editing, sometimes we are fighting to decide who is editing. But it is getting edited. That's the final thing. It's a fight a lot of times. ये मैंने किया, अब ये तू करेगी, film idea मेरा था, edit तो तू करेगी, तू edit करवा. This is the behind the scenes.
And I've always had this little bit of a tug of war with myself on one thing. I agree with you fully that long form is actually the one format that pays you the least comparatively, because your short form content does better, especially because it helps with growth and brings more sponsors. I feel like I want to wait for a vlog to go live. So let's say, for example, I'm in Japan. I will wait for the Japan long form vlog to go live and then start posting all the short snippets related to it. And while I know fully well that that is not the right approach, because in terms of growth, real-time content, I should be prioritizing it. I just feel like I want people to have the full picture first and then see snippets. Where are you on this? Do you have these overthinking, intrusive thoughts like me, or am I like the only person who's overanalyzing the shit out of everything?
I guess you are overanalyzing a little bit. I'll agree to it. And because I know you as a person as well, I guess with content, if you put a lot of efforts now, it doesn't work. I have realized it. If I write a script, if I think, oh, I'll do it like this, it will not work. And if I do something very spontaneously, that is something that people also like to watch. I mean, personally, if I see a video, like camera is set up and like, if it's a short form content, if I've clicked on it, that मुझे ये देखना है, then that's a different story. But if it is coming on my feed, camera setup and like everything is looking very polished, I don't personally relate to such content. So what I believe is people also like to watch people like them. People like them, but also aspirational. That is what I personally believe. And when it comes to short form content, as you were mentioning, I guess with stories and with a little bit of reels here and there, it is a good hype for your vlog as well. So that way people are like, you know, they are waiting for it to like a long vlog to come and that they can watch that. And also not everybody wants to watch a long form vlog. Some people are just there to watch like short form. So I guess that works for me, that I put stories and then I do a little bit of reel or short here and there, and then like a long form vlog goes. But I also want to do like a big location reveal if I'm traveling to somewhere or like something like that. But that is just to travel. When I'm filming a short form content, for example, if I'm doing a cooking video, I do make sure I do a little hype on my Instagram or like on my broadcast. So the people who actually love what I'm doing, they know that what can we expect? Kya hone wala hai next? What is she filming next?
That's such a nice approach. It's such a nice way to look at it. Are you also in the same boat as her? Because sometimes I get easily discouraged when I see things going up and down, especially with long form. Because I love long form. I just do. I wish I didn't. It's like that toxic lover. I wish I could actually just be like, forget it. This is not good for me. I should spend my time on short form. Yeah. Where are you in the madness of this jungle?
So honestly, I haven't really explored YouTube long form as a thing, but I also know inherently I would prefer that. But I completely agree with what she says about, your content works best when you haven't given it an overthought. Like most of my reels have done incredibly well when they have just come out of like, I just whipped out my phone and I said something and people saw it, loved it, shared it, and it's gone in millions and millions. And then that becomes your identity for some time. Like, okay, this video became viral. And that's always been the case. As she said, anytime you feel like, okay, I am going to script this video, I will say this exactly as per what I've written. The camera must look like this. The lighting must honestly, I don't think anybody cares that much.
Yeah, not anymore.
No one cares. Like, I don't care. Like, to watch basically. People are like lying down in bed and just talking, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like,
true.
I'm lying down and watching you talk. So like, that's it.
I find it infuriating and satisfying both when like something I have barely thought about and I'll just pick up the phone, like you said, stick it on the wall and be like, oh, da 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 da, and suddenly that will be the one that will get me the most engagement that week. And I'm like, yeah, maybe the trick is just to go easier on myself.
Yeah.
and
I guess
on
that is
content.
also because one you have not overthought about it. Once you are overthinking कि ये line ऐसी अच्छी नहीं लगेगी, इसको थोड़ा और better करते हैं. A lot of times I'm not very good with English. मेरी grammar mistakes हो रही होती, pronunciation तो बिल्कुल ही पानी में जा रहा होता है. But then I guess that is something how we Indians normally talk. Like हमारा pronunciation हर जगह सही नहीं हो सकता है. And that is what people relate to. Oh, she sounds like me. Even she's thinking the way I think. So I guess that is when you actually are able to create a bond. And specifically if you're talking about long form, I genuinely believe कि वहाँ पे तो it is very important to have a bond. I mean, I love a long form content creation, and I believe that the reason I have engagement on my short form content is because of the bond that I've created via my long form content creation. Or else I personally don't enjoy my short form content as well as much I enjoy my long form. So now people who have watched that, they are like, oh, she's doing this, let us also engage with the short form.
But this kind of segues me perfectly into what you said earlier, right? Like, because what you said is like, it can be very relatable to just be and stay organic, but while also simultaneously policing yourself a little bit based on what you think someone is going to say or comment or discuss or gossip
Yes.
about. Has that impacted the way you're planning your content? Like in your case, especially with comedy, I feel, especially when you're doing stand-up and it's hardcore in your face, sort of comedy, you want to be able to make certain punchlines without thinking of ramifications to the extent of, oh, I shouldn't completely alter my script.
Yeah.
There's a way of delivering it smoothly, but does that really bother you? Is it something that plays on your mind a lot while working on a script?
Now, because of how things are and your own self-censorship, and yes, you're right, there is a extreme sensitivity on the internet, I think. You have to just choose your own peace, basically, like protect your peace, see where you are. It's unfortunate, but it is the way it is. I don't see how things can change with that, unless you're an absolute like rebel and be like, नहीं मैं तो बोलूंगा चाहे जो भी मुझे repercussions आए. I do care about the repercussions a lot. I do think about that a lot. So that's where your own self-censorship just comes in.
Yeah, I agree with the point on like, obviously, like never punching down, realizing that your privilege is genuine, actual privilege that so many people would kill to have. But at the same time, I agree with you that the extreme nature of sensitivity, sometimes it's just things are taken way more seriously. And what upsets me sometimes is out of context. That I think hurts a lot more, not just like people, but also like just logic, careers. I feel like I wish we had more context to everything.
Yeah, because honestly, I don't want to spend time clarifying things that I have spoken about and taken out of context. I just want to make content. I just want to write jokes. I don't want to spend any time clarifying, कि नो मैंने ऐसा थोड़ी ना बोला था यार, ये इसका मतलब ये होता है, इसका मतलब ये होता है. इतनी बड़ी अम्ब्रेला के अंदर ये छोटा सा मीनिंग का तुमने बहुत बड़ा बतंगड़ बना दिया, which has happened a few times. Like meme pages just take things out of context, blow it up, and then for weeks you are targeted constantly, bhad, and then I'm like, just like, what can you do?
Yeah.
So you just keep quiet. Earlier, I used to be very reactive. I used to feel very upset, especially during the lockdown, which the trolling was 5x at that time because everyone's home. So at that time, I used to feel very upset. It took a toll on my mental health and everything. But I'm at this point right now, we're like, okay, bhai, tujhe jo bolna hai, bol de yaar. Bol. I mean, at the end of the day, your comments are actually helping me, my algorithm, my reach. Go ahead.
Keep it going.
Keep it going.
Do bais. What about you? I feel in your case, it's less about the comedy scripting angle, but more about just the fact that you like to speak your mind and your...
Yes. I'll just give you an example. So when I used to do cooking challenges earlier. I did a video where I made like Korean food for 24 hours. And I had no idea what chopsticks are. I'm a very noob girl to cooking and to everything, to the world. I got chopstick and I was actually playing. It can be offensive to some people, but I was like, this looks like Chotu Dandiya. We can play Dandiya with it. Now, at that time, it was funny to me. And I put that on internet and everybody was watching it. Everybody was laughing, ha ha ha, he. But now, with time, the world has become a little sensitive. Now, people are getting offensive because I have heard Korean cultural sentiments. I'm like, मैं मेरे cultural sentiment का ध्यान रख सकती हूँ. Korean cultural sentiment का ध्यान रखना चाहिए. K-pop की जय हो, पर थोड़ा नहीं हो पाता है. So it is just a bit difficult. And with me, what happens is I'm not scripting. I'm vlogging. If a thought just came into my mind, I think this can be funny. I just told it. But while editing it, we do consider that we will need to chop this because this is going to... I have so many... I guess I can make 4 or 5 vlogs with like things that I've just dumped, which I find which is funny, which my team finds it's funny, but I cannot put it because it will either hurt somebody. I understand every factor. As you mentioned, like you cannot, a lot of times I get, not only me, my sister, 2 sisters, they are, how is a sister's bond? We just keep bullying each other as sisters. They get offensive about that as well. Like, how Gopali is talking to, specifically Janvi. Why is Janvi talking to her elder sister like that? I'm like, come on, we talk like that only. कोई अपनी बहन से दीदी जी करके बात नहीं करता है. So, I guess अभी थोड़ा सा वो लोग sensitive हो रहे हैं, जिसकी वजह से fortunately, I've never got trolling jaisa hate. I've got people telling me, but ki nati, choti, that is like a everyday thing. And now I find it funny. I mean, I make fun of myself and I'm chotu. Like I call you the Bandra girl. You don't take offense in it. So imagine if I did this on internet, telling every other line Bandra girl. They'll be like, oh my God, ab Bandra girl ke logo ke sensitive.
Guys, Gopali really bullies me. Bandra girl for everything. Anything I do. But like that, I get what you're saying. Because it's like so rapport based and you really have to kind of take that into consideration. Which I think again is where context comes into play. Nobody knows what your interpersonal, relationship with Janvi is like and why. And like, she's not going to say namaste didi to you while talking to you.
True.
But do you sometimes fear that what you say like this might also, at the end of the day, as a creator, impact business? Because the number one thing to consider, I guess, for a lot of people whose livelihood, your business, your bread and butter is being a content creator, is, okay, if I do something that gets me cancelled, like you said, the first thing that is going to happen is sponsors are going to pull back. And that's a very direct relationship that your popularity has with your livelihood, right? Like the numbers, the engagement, what are the comments saying about this person right now? How do you navigate those waters? And I'm not saying this from the point of view, thankfully, neither of you have ever been like cancelled, which is great. But like, I'm coming from the point of, coming from the point of, we do need to keep some filters with when we're selecting brands that we choose to work with. So I'm guessing brands are also keeping their filters. How are you going around figuring that out at both your ends?
I think for me, another level of checks is my manager. So I, as I said, I used to be a very reactionary person. I got angry immensely. And sometimes you also get angry at brands. Okay. So you want to say stuff that you want to call some brand out. And then, so before I just press post, I send it to my manager. And then she's like, please don't post the thing. Please don't post the thing. So I was like, oh, but I edited it. It looks great. Don't post it. It's not worth it. It's fine.
I'm curious. Give us an example. Oh, don't name the brand.
Okay. I won't name the brand.
Yeah. Please, just in case, we're also
that she will name after this podcast.
But it was not a big deal. I was invited to an event. And then I was uninvited to it. So I don't know what happened. So I was fully ready to leave and I filmed a get ready with me for that event. I bought clothes specially for that theme that they wanted. And then I was uninvited from it. And I was like, what? That's rubbish. And then I refilmed the get ready with me. It was so caustic. It was so Zehreela, like if that, and I didn't name the brand also in that, by the way, but people would know because that was the flavor of the season, right? Like everybody, you would see people wearing those clothes that I wore and all, the color scheme. And I sent it to my manager, like, I'm posting this, I don't care. And she's like, don't do it.
But how do they uninvite? I mean, like, they're like,
They like was
Uno
this like
reverse.
yeah,
Nahi aa rahe aap.
I really don't know. I really don't know what was the thought process. Why did this happen? What was the back end of it?
Did your manager ask the agency or brand?
You know, I was so furious that I did not even like escalate it. Like,
I would be so curious though.
I know, but I was just that's I said, like, I'm so reactionary. And instead of further asking, like, हुआ क्या? I just went straight to the jugular. नहीं, अब मैं call out करूंगी इस brand को.
Shit.
But yeah, I didn't. And I have no regrets. I'm a happier person now that I did not call that. I don't think any of that is worth it, by the way.
Yeah, true. I will also agree.
Not because of losing brands or whatever, but because of for your own mental health. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, this is where I'm on my own little planet. I have called out brands in the past.
Yeah.
And not just called out brands in the past. Those have been because of issues like, for example, a payment coming to me like 9 months
That's
later,
fair. That's
right?
totally
but
fair.
Like I also get thrown off certain PR lists because I say I didn't like this product. And sometimes I've bought the product. It's not even a PR product. But like I'm saying, it's this product I don't like. I like other products from this brand's range. And this brand and all its sister brands have all chucked me out of
That's
the PR
happened
list.
with me also.
And I'm like, why are we? My ego is not upset because you sent me only one PR kit and didn't send me for the other sister brand's PR kits. So why am I upsetting your ego over this as a brand? Like, just take feedback. I'm a brand owner myself today. So I feel like if someone said, hey, you verified products are great, but this product did not work for me, I'll be like, okay, that's fine. It's not possible that everyone will like everything.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I believe in just, I know there are repercussions, but I'm clearly sitting on this island where I'm like, forget it, just say the truth.
But you're absolutely right for the reasons that you stated. Like, I would do the same if someone's withholding your payment for so long.
Yeah.
Then you need to be called out.
I mean, I think in any case, the entire money moving structure within the influencer space is so unorganized.
Absolutely.
And I'll go so far as to say that I feel sometimes we're taken so much advantage of. Standard payment periods are like 60 days, sometimes 90 days. And those are also not cleared in the 60-90 period. They're cleared like double the time sometimes. It's a lot. And even though we have managers, at the end of the day, it's our money and someone else may be dealing with it. But you have bills to pay and salaries to pay.
Exactly.
You also mentioned manager, right? So does your manager handle all your money, everything for both of you? Of course, I know you have a manager as well. But like, are they managing all your money, everything? Are you dealing with any brands at all?
No.
You prefer?
I don't like to do the money talks and the chasing after invoices stuff because I just can't. It's my fault. Not because I don't want to do it. It's because I don't know how to do it. Like, if you owe me money, I will just not ask you only कि मुझे दे दे यार पैसा.
I know this.
You are the most non-confrontational person ever, Gopali. So that fits.
With me, it is right now while I'm talking this, I have a brand who has not paid me for 2 years. It's been 2 years they have not paid. And there are so many brands. I don't discuss money or like brand issues ever on my channel because that is literally behind the scenes with my work. I never talk about it, but it is so tedious. One brand is just denying that we have made a video live. We have sent them the video link that, see, this is live. They're like, but we never told you to go live. And then we also have a chat screenshot. See, your team member told us. But now he has left the job, so we don't know. And they're not ready to pay us. Like, they're not. यहाँ तो उम्मीद भी नहीं है कि पैसे मिलेंगे.
Would you never call out a brand like this?
I don't know if I should call out or not. I'm still thinking on that should we do that or not. But then also, me, my sister and my manager, we majorly decide this together. And I'm a very short-tempered human. Like, मुझे तुरंत तो बहुत ऐसे कैसे पैसे नहीं दे रहे, अभी बताती हूँ इनको पैसे तो देने पड़ेंगे इनको. I go like this. But then थोड़ा सा शाम हो जाती है, लाइक नहीं ऐसे नहीं करते हैं, बड़ी ब्रांड है, अच्छी ब्रांड है, फालतू गालियां पड़ेंगी, आगे काम नहीं दिया तो, मुझे ही आगे और कोई काम नहीं मिला तो, देन that is when I get into over analyzing mode, and I am just in hope that from that one brand I don't have hope. I'm always like legal notice भेजते हैं इनको, अभी बताते हैं इनको. I go with that phase rather than calling them out. And thankfully my manager is a very sane human and he also knows law very clearly. So he also tries कि let's go that way. So we have done the legal way, and इतना लंबा प्रोसेस है उसका. कॉल आउट इज बेटर, बट देन मैं थोड़ी फट्टू हूं, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. इन दैट केस आई कैन जस्ट से दैट क्लियरली.
Because I've also taken the legal route on like 2 different situations, but I honestly feel like eventually it was me reaching out to the brand and surpassing the agency after waiting for some 10-11 months. Was quicker and easier because the legal procedure, like you said, itna lamba. The process is only इतना लंबा that you'll be like रखो आप पैसे, ज्यादा पैसे तो मैं इस वसूली में खर्च कर रही हूँ जितना मुझे एक्चुअली आना है.
बट मुझे वही लगता है, यू नो, व्हेन आई टॉक विद अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट पीपल हु आर वर्किंग इन डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज, it is chaotic everywhere. I have got to know this, that money is chaotic everywhere. I come from Surat. A lot of my friends are into textiles. When I talk to them that in our industry it is like that, they also tell even in their industry it is like that. I'm not justifying that this is correct, this is wrong, but with time I've realized that money is chaotic in every industry. So I guess I'm trying to accept that fact कि मैं अकेली नहीं हूँ वाला चीज बोल के I let it go, because as you're mentioning 90 days, now it's also 120 days sometimes, and then the problem is they'll pay you the money for GST के लिए you need to chase them separately.
This is new.
This is new.
It's been happening since 2 years.
Yes, you need to chase them separately. So it's a whole process, and I guess we need to have a specific team member to look up to this, because your manager cannot. So it's a long procedure.
Do you want to break down what your entire team is like and who does what? It'll be very helpful for any new creators out there, or creators that are doing everything and want to now have teams. It'll be very beneficial if you can break down whose job role is what.
I guess with new creator, you need to do everything yourself. And
that is start with that.
Yes, first start with that. I guess till the time I crossed 600, 700K on my channel, I used to do everything myself, except talking to the brands, because I am very bad at negotiating. I'm like, ठीक है जो तू बोल रहा है ना वो कर देते हैं. And I have done that like very initial stage while I was managing myself, or else I was pretending Janvi's manager and Janvi used to pretend I am her manager. So that is when we have agreed on but that was like literally 2 or 3 months का time span. So I always had a manager. जब से मुझे brand inquiries आने लग गई हैं, उससे पहले I did this for like 4-5 years, creating content, filming, videography, editing. Everything was only one team. Like I was the only team member. But then when I grew, I got a YouTube long form editor, because it used to, I speak a lot. So it takes a lot of time to edit that. So I got a long form YouTube editor, and then that was the only person that we had, and a manager. Manager is somebody who's working from अपना काम, वो deals हमें लाके दे रहा है basically. And then when short form content started getting in, I got another, we can call her assistant. Like she takes care of almost everything. Be it if I'm going somewhere, if I need to order a product, or if we just need to edit a reel, I need some help there. So that is another girl that we have. So we have, these are the team members, just 3 team members.
And do you and your sister share any team members?
We used to, but recently we have, the personal assistant kind of the designation is something that we have separate now, since past 2 months only that we have done. And I believe in a very small team. I don't like a lot of people around me while I'm filming, because I think that is not when I come my raw self. And it is so important for me to have a very nice bond with my team members as well, because I can be myself. I can discuss what I'm thinking about this particular piece of content. So I have a very small team, but like they are fantastic people, and I'm nothing without my team, I can say that.
Touchwood. What about you, Supar?
Well, I'm mostly a team of one when it comes to everything that has to do with the content side of it, from scripting to creating to editing. I do everything on my own. particularly because I'm not doing long form. So for that, I definitely think, yeah, an editor would be a great choice. But yeah, everything else I do on my own. I'm managed by an agency. Through I have my manager, and she handles all the talking to brands, negotiating, and the back end money, invoices and stuff like that. So that's one thing, and I cannot deal with that. Like, purely because of my own shortcomings, not because I'm lazy to do it.
Of
It's
course.
just like, how do I, like, I'm
I
also
agree.
really bad at negotiating. Like, I feel like I don't know my own worth, and like the brand will tell you.
This is so true. I remember the first time I got to know a brand is going to pay me this. I'm like, what?
Exactly.
Why are they paying me this much amount? I'm
Exactly.
sorry to say, but I was so shocked. And I guess even till date, I get in that, like, are they really paying me
Yeah.
to make this?
Yeah.
I know, I guess because I've been doing this for so long, I also believe in that, like, am I this worth it?
Yeah.
This is a thought that
exactly.
even comes to
But
me.
then if you guys aren't good at negotiations and if the manager is doing everything, then basically the manager is taking the final call. You're not really stepping in, nahi, try to push harder, make it go.
Actually, yes, but I have to just talk to my manager. No, she's on my side, so she's not somebody I have to be like, nahi, ye wo kar. But I mean, both of us are pretty much on the same page where it comes to what can we let go if they're not agreeing, and where can we push this. And I'm happy with the whatever decision. I trust her, so whatever decision she takes for me. And she does, before closing anything, she of course asks
Yeah.
me, what do you think, is this good? Cool. Yeah.
And I'm sure rapport plays a very big part in
Oh,
this,
yeah.
right? Like
Absolutely.
you have to have someone.
You must be working with people who are on your side, and that's it.
True.
Just that, like, when they feel happy, you're doing well. And when they are also, motivated. I especially am that person sometimes who, like, I go months without posting anything because I'm in like a major slump. Okay, like, it happens with me all the time. So during that time is when you need the most support, and my manager has acted like that. Hey, you want to try filming today?
Cute.
You want to try editing something today? You want to put something up? So, and then when you see that, and then you see the outcome of that, then it gets things rolling, and then things happen. So, so you need a good, somebody who you really have a good rapport with, a good friendship with, but professional friendship. That's what I also must say. Like, no offense to my manager who's watching this. Your friendship should be purely professional.
I struggle with this. I'm like, there's friendship
Same.
and then there's professional, and I'm like, wait, sometimes the lines are so blurred.
I almost crossed that. I don't think so. I have professional relationship, especially if it's a girl who's actually coming to my house daily, working with me. We are buddies at this moment, and we're like, she knows what personal struggles I'm going through, and similarly, I know her, and it's like, I guess now with my team member specifically who's coming and like working with me daily, now we are majorly friends. A lot of times we're like, nahi ho raha kaam, chalo cafe chal ke kaam karte. We are actually going there, we are gossiping. It is difficult, but I enjoy it. I mean, I don't think so. I'm somebody who can actually do, ठीक है, इतनी दोस्ती ठीक है, मुझे सब जानना है क्या चल रहा है आपकी लाइफ में, मुझे सब बताओ, और मैं तो तुरंत बता ही दूंगी. तो अब अगर मैंने बता दिया तो आप भी बताओगे, तो हम इक्वल पेज पे हैं. अगर आपने अकेले ने बता दिया, मैंने अकेले ने बता दिया, फिर गड़बड़ हो जाएगी. So I guess now I don't even try to maintain. I know I cannot do it.
I'm in the same boat as you. So I think most of my team has always been female, barring like probably like a videographer, editor here and there. And I feel like I've always landed up being such close friends with them that if they were ever leaving, like I've had my previous manager was with me for like 5 years. And when she eventually left, I was the one who encouraged her to leave. Because like I was like, you came to me straight out of college, and she was like, should I try something else? And I was like, you must. And I'm encouraging her, and I'm setting up interviews for her because I'm like, no, you must. Like, don't feel like you have to be stuck in a place. And then eventually when she did move on, I was like, I feel like I'm having like a friendship breakup. Like I won't see you every
That's
day.
exactly why, because that's happened with me. I've cried because my manager was leaving me. I'm like, how can you leave me? How can you leave me? So after that, it's like, I must like, I'm a big batuni person. Like if I have girlfriends, I will yap like like I'm such an open book. But now then it's like, okay, wait, if I'm too open also, now what will happen is when she wants to go ahead, do something else, then I'll be sitting, how can you leave me? Yeah, please. It's a proper breakup, yeah. Like when someone leaves.
Yeah.
How can you leave me? What did I do wrong? Tell me.
So
I completely agree.
When my previous assistant left last year, right, and I hired someone new, I told myself at that point, I was like, I'm going to keep professional friendship. Mind you, this is at a point when I was pregnant, I've had a baby. All professional friendship eventually in a few weeks has gone out the window. She's in the room right now. And I don't think I have ever been able to be like I'm just not that person. If I'm genuinely comfortable with you and I can see you're comfortable with me, I can't be like, oh, now I'm going to go into boss mode. Like, what does that mean? To me, I can't. I don't have that button in me. I mean, this person is seeing you do fittings and they're naked while you're naked.
True.
What, like, they're changing. There is the physical proximity is so much in our line of work where you're like, okay, where does one draw the line even? And I have psychoanalyzed this, as I do with so many things. And I think it comes from the idea that as creators, we're on a very lonely journey of sorts. You're pretty much thinking of everything on your own. The pressure is very on your shoulders. Even if you have a team, somewhere you feel like eventually the weight is for you to carry, whether it's the comments, whether it's a high or a low. Also, unlike like friends who have work friends, we have creator friends, but it's not like creator friends hang out the way work friends do. Oh, every Friday, let's go out for, you know what I mean? The lifestyle is very different. And somewhere I think I've realized that we have this relationship with the teams that we do is because we don't have that relationship outside of our work lives as much. We're always on. And these are the people who are around us when we're always on. And so that becomes a very different kind of a friendship. Are you guys on the same page? Am I psychoanalyzing myself?
No, I guess,
as usual.
Yeah, it is actually. But with me, I think even if I would have colleagues and if I meet anybody, I overshare and I regret. I guess that is my, and now I'm very self-aware of myself and I know कि ये नहीं बदल पा रही हूँ, तो अब ठीक है ऐसा ही रख
You regret? I don't see you as a regretty type person at all, Gopali.
I mean, yeah, true.
I know you well enough. But this girl is her energy. And I say this because like I've become friendly with her and her sister in the last maybe year and a half. And I feel like she has this energy which is just so, and I mean that in the best way because it makes me realize I should be like that. Like I want to be like Gopali when it comes to just chill. Like she said, I'm so self-aware. I can't change this about myself.
आपने वो मीम देखा है जो होगा वो देखा जाएगा पर फिर वो नहीं देखा जा पाता है. That meme is for me. I believe in कि जो होगा देखा जाएगा पर फिर जब वो हो रहा था ना ये कैसे हो गया?
This is real life geet. No, but that's what I'm saying. You just genuinely don't seem like a regretty type person. Like I'm someone who is not a regretty type person either. I don't really regret something once it's done. But that's because I overanalyze the hell out of it before I had even arrived at that decision. But she has this very breezy energy about her.
I guess I underanalyze. I don't analyze. And इसमें तो दिमाग लगेगा ये नहीं करेंगे.
Things I need to change about myself. Number one, underanalyze. Are you like this also?
I am not a regretty person, but because of my actions, my sister becomes a very regretty person. Please stop it, Supriya.
Older sibling.
She's younger.
You are older sibling.
I guess then we should have a sister session. Same Janvi also.
100%. Oh, yeah.
We have Janvi on the pod also.
Yeah, so Janvi always tells me this. इतना तो नहीं बताना था दीदी हमें इसे. इतना तो नहीं करना था हमें इनके साथ में. अब तो कर दिया.
My sister also loses it on me. Like, क्यों? Like sometimes when I'm calling people out on the internet, for trolling or whatever, before I press enter, my sister will call me, please don't just delete everything.
इसमें भी यार उल्टा जानवी माइट अगर किसी ने कुछ हेट कमेंट दिया तो वो उसको रिप्लाई करेंगे ये क्यों कर रही है, छोड़, वो पागल है, उसके पास टाइम नहीं है, तेरे पास तो वीडियो बनाने के लिए, जा, तेरी डेडलाइन है. आई विल टेल हर दिस. जानवी इज अ वेरी वो यंगर सिबलिंग है उसके अंदर का कि अभी बताती हूँ इसको, अभी ठीक करती हूँ इसको, थोड़ी बदतमीज टाइप इफ आई कैन से. बट हाँ, जानवी एंड विथ मी इट इज लाइक आई विल जस्ट talk a lot, I'll yap a lot. If you are meeting me for the first time और second time मिल लिए, फिर तो आपको सब पता है मेरे बारे में, कहाँ धोखा हुआ है मेरे साथ, किसने अच्छा किया है, you know everything.
But that must also help in a way with your content, right? Because you're so Mufat, you are so you. It kind of in a way keeps you feeling and expressing things organically.
Absolutely.
Like that little angle, maybe not as much as you, but I can relate to that a little bit because I'm the kind of person who I'll say anything that I think of. Like I will physically feel pain in my chest or in my stomach if I don't express my thoughts. And I'll sometimes have, my husband tell me, you cannot share this opinion with someone. You don't have to say everything you're thinking. I'm like, no, but it will physically hurt if I don't say it out loud because like I disagree. Or because I feel like nahi wo to galat kiya hai. I want to be able to say this was an alternate option jo kar lena tha. But it helps you stay organic.
But galat ko मैं गलत नहीं बता पाती हूँ ना. The problem is that if somebody is doing wrong with me, then I'm like, oh ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, कर रहा है, करने देते हैं. I am Mufat with अपना सा बता दूंगी.
That's because you're non-confrontational. You are someone who will not argue and stand up, but you will
लड़ाई कलेश नहीं हो पाती. And you know what?
That Janvi is better at, I feel.
Yes, I believe that I can only fight with people who I know, who I'm friends with. For example, I know them, तो मैं उनसे लड़ सकती हूँ, कलेश कर सकती हूँ. But if I'm meeting somebody or like I've even in the workplace, अगर कुछ गलत हो रहा है, मैं सह लूंगी, मुझे दुख होगा पर मैं सह लूंगी. वहां आई कैन नॉट, लाइक लड़ाई हो जाएगी फालतू, कलेश वलेश नहीं करते. मतलब पहले आई यूज्ड टू बी लाइक मैं बिग बॉस में जाके लड़ सकती हूँ, बट नाउ आई थिंक मैं दब के आ जाऊंगी.
Where does Big Boss come from? Like random thought or
नहीं, लड़ाई
नहीं, एक्चुअल बिग बॉस में जाके मैं लड़ सकती हूँ.
नहीं, यू ऑलवेज थिंक ना कि लाइक कैन आई फाइट और नॉट, वैसा वाला. सो
आई लव दिस.
विद फाइटिंग यू ऑलवेज थिंक बिग बॉस ना,
Big Boss,
सी.
Okay.
I used to think the
I guess
same.
Bandra people don't think.
Oh God, there she goes again.
No, just
but
kidding.
with Janvi, I think that's something I can relate to. I guess in that case, I think it's a younger sibling thing. Where I'm like, only I have the right to fight with my brother. How can anyone else say something about my brother? Like, no, this is not okay. You know what I mean? And we're, I think, good at the idea of speaking up for like ourselves and being confrontational gladly. But where I was going with this is it also helps you retain authenticity because you are someone that has your feelings out there. Because in my opinion, like if you want to genuinely have a long career in this space, the only way you can do that is if you really stick to being you.
100%.
Because there are so many people, and now too there are genuinely so many people in this space where unless you find a way to make your identity fully sealed, identifiable, it's not possible to have a long career.
Well, how else is someone going to relate to you?
True.
Unless I feel like you have to be like an actual established celebrity for anyone to just watch your content without any expectations. But if it's a normal person like me, who has no, like, I'm not a celebrity per se, but so why would you watch me? Why would you come back to me? If I am authentic, if I am able to yap my honest feelings and with the sensitivity and self-censorship, and people see that for what it is, and that's what will keep them coming back.
I guess I've learned this lesson through the first channel that I started. There I was because I used to watch skits and I used to watch Superwoman and like mostly and I used to be like, they are doing this, and I guess this is what YouTube is made for. I wasn't myself. I wasn't writing. I was not acting or like writing things the way I should be. So through that channel, I got to learn this. And my channel, when I started Gopali, my motto was, I will be myself. And that has only helped me. And like wherever I am today is just because of being myself. And I definitely encourage this to every creator because I believe everybody is a unique personality and they think ये उनके अंदर गलत है पर ये सबके अंदर गलत है. मिलेंगे आपको वो लोग जो
match होता है.
Match होता है, yes. So being yourself is the key with content.
It must also help to have like family as part of that content, right? Because like you have not just your sister, your parents involved in content also. They appear in your vlog so often.
Yes.
You live with them. And I feel like that also helps a long way in like making sure you're you, because it's so common otherwise for one. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, because I think it's very normal to have like a home personality and outside, you know, kind of you're a different version of yourself. But I think it helps bring the different versions of you together when the camera is on, but you're still with family. And it just keeps everything more real and more authentic in that sense.
Yeah, I agree to it. Like, because my mother is there, we're cooking together. In my vlogs, if you see my travel vlogs, my father is just being like a normal Indian father. He's just charging everything. He's just worried about कि phone charge हो गया, power bank रह गया है. So it's just like however they are. Like my mother is a very drama queen person. She comes as a very drama queen person on internet. So I guess it's very raw and real.
She has a fan base of her own, I hope.
Yeah, she has a fan base of her own.
Petition for Auntie to start her own channel.
अभी देखो आनंद ने भी बोल दिया अब तो कर ही लेना चाहिए.
But मैं तो कब से बोल रही हूँ कर लेना चाहिए.
मेरा धंधा मंदा हो जाएगा.
नहीं, expand हो जाएगा. Expand, more brands, more sponsors.
Yes, I should think about it. True.
What about you? Do you often involve friends, family in your content
I
also?
used to, back in particularly around during the lockdown, because where else were we? So I used to make a lot of content with my parents, my grandmother. My grandmother had her own fan base also, by the way. May she rest in peace. But people still remember her for her videos that she was. And she was also full character. And I also come from a family of characters, like absolutely, like what she said about humor being the tool that you deal with every issue with. That's my family also. That's what I have also grown up seeing. But you know, like after my dad fell ill, you see all of those things happening in your real life. It's like, what do I shoot now? It's all I cannot. Why would I want that to be part of my content anyway? So I only took a step back. Though my dad was also a very enthusiastic guy, he wanted to be part of videos. He wanted to be, you know, like, bata hum karte hain. But you know, when he fell sick, then I said, let it be. Now, Dad, you chill, you relax. And I used to show him all the videos that I would make. He would laugh like anything. Like, so that's one. Sorry, I went on a different tangent here, but like that's one big, one of the big things that will keep pricking me. You know, that who do I show my videos to now?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but it's okay. I'm sure he's watching from somewhere. That's how.
And saying good job.
Yeah, exactly. I hear him every time. So that's.
Never be sorry. I feel like it's great that you're able to make that connection and still keep that going for yourself.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Do you want to take a quick break?
Oh, I'm okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like we should talk about money a little bit if you're open to it. One of the things that I think gets talked about a lot, especially for women creators, is either we're making ridiculous amounts of money and we don't deserve it, or we have some male figure in our life funding our lifestyles. It's like the internet can't decide which way to go. And this has kind of become a common question I'm asking everyone in every episode, because I really want to shed light on the financial aspect of what creators make. And I'm coming from the point of view of really truly lifting that veil, trying to make sure people understand that this is a genuine business. We're contributing towards the economy. We're paying salaries. We're paying taxes. And while there's so many things about our space that is not structured, a little bit unorganized, this is actually something that's very legitimate and validates how much of what we do is an actual business. So I guess the question I have is, are you willing to share what, let's say, your best month ever for not in terms of profit, even if it in terms of billing is like we had someone talk about how much they make in a month, just to give any kind of average you're comfortable with, whether it's a month or a best month. Because like I said, I want people to understand, especially not just aspiring creators, women who are watching, that there are ways in which you can monetize your talents and do more. If either of you are willing to take this.
Yeah, I can say the two best performing months for me historically have been March, because Women's Day, and during Diwali time. Now, Women's Day, more than brands, it's a stand-up comedy, because a lot of companies, brands and companies on their own want to do shows with women comics. So that's the one time of the year all women comics, like, we get paid more than men finally. So that's the one day. So March has always been a good month, and Diwali time also, yes. Like, more brands want you to, and then I feel like more launches happening at that time as well. So they wanted to do more, brand deals and stuff like that. So yeah, these are my 2 months. But like, I would say, like, I am not someone who only depends on social media for my revenue. I also write, like, I write ads, I write for other creators. So that's how I keep my sanity.
Is there a percentage
also
split you can give us in terms of revenue streams?
I would say it's almost 50-50, honestly.
Okay.
But there are some months where it's almost 100% just writing, no brand. So that's how I like to keep things. So, also it helps me maintain my own sanity as well, because I'm not completely dependent on one thing, which also I would like to mention. Like, a lot of people who may want to start, looking into a career as an influencer or a content creator, it's very important to know that money will not keep flowing all the time. Like, you be prepared for, like, extreme, like, kuch bhi nahi aa raha hai, like, nothing is happening. So I would say, if you're just starting out, don't even think of investing in, like, the big cameras and mics and stuff. Whatever you make, the best with whatever you have, and then scale up when you can. And please save for a rainy day, because there will be rainy days if you want to make this your career.
Yeah.
See what other revenue streams you can get, and then just do whatever. Because if you're just dependent on one thing, how long can you be dependent on it?
Correct.
Like,
I agree.
every day there will be a better creator than you who's come up, who's younger than you, who has a bigger fan base than you. And then in the stream of relevancy, somewhere you will get lost.
Yeah.
Then what do you do?
I always say you can't always stay relevant to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, you will find subgroups of people to stay relevant to through different phases of your career and life, depending on how much you're sharing. So any numbers you're willing to share? If you're comfortable with it.
I don't even know what number to give you, honestly. It's not great, it's not bad. So
Okay.
I will say that. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Gopali?
I guess with content creation, every month is different month, and like, I feel there are so many dry patches. Like, right now when I'm talking, I've been just on a call with my manager. Ki kya ho raha hai? What's going wrong? Why are we not able to close deals? So every month is very different. And then some days, some months are where I'm saying no to the brands. I'm like, no, we have done enough brands this month. So every month is different. But I personally believe the festive season, specifically from Raksha Bandhan to Diwali, is the time which is like, because people are buying more things, and like, makeup and like skincare is there. And also, I'm very new to makeup and skincare world, because like, the OG people know that I used to use Johnson's baby powder. I just saw my video yesterday. Like, Johnson's baby laga ke video banati thi main. And I've shifted to like a concealer and like blush and like highlighter and a gloss. So now I'm very new to this field as well. But I must say, beauty mein bahut paisa hai. So, hai na? I mean, as a lifestyle creator, I must say that. So, I guess that is the month that we do the best. Again, it depends. Like, I've also had a very low budget Diwali, like बहुत कम deals lock हुए हैं कुछ साल, and some years they have been very good. But if an average I want to give, like, if it's a good month, I can easily make like money where I can buy like 3 iPhones.
Oh God, don't give me the iPhone theory, Gopali.
अब iPhone कितने का आता है approximately?
1.5 lakh.
तो 3.5 4. I can make like good 4 4 lakhs is something that I can give.
But keep in mind with these numbers when you guys are listening that what we're talking about is billing numbers. These are not profits because you still have salaries to come out of
GST?
this. GST, expenses, maintenances, all of that still has to come out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ये इतनी बड़ी बड़ी लाइट लगती है उसका लाइट बिल. So many
yeah,
things.
a lot.
When I actually think now,
That's
like
so real.
so many expenses. Now you cannot switch on the fan. ठंडे में भी आपको एसी चलानी पड़ेगी क्योंकि पंखे की आवाज आ रही है.
Yeah.
There's so many things that people don't consider. They're like, wow, इतना सारा पैसा मिल रहा है इनको. पैसा तो हमें बहुत सारा मिल रहा है. That I'll agree to. But खर्च भी
maintaining it,
बहुत.
yeah.
It's very difficult.
That's
to
a
make.
very real example also because if I moved to a bigger house some time back and I wasn't shooting at all for the first couple of months. And I was surprised that my light bill was still coming similar to my older house, which was 1 bedroom less. And then I started shooting and it shot up and I was like, there you go. So literally I could relate to it when you said that because it's true. The lights or whether it's the AC being on all the time,
yeah.
all of those factors do contribute. They
Yeah.
sound small and little,
Yeah.
but they compound.
I mean, the
eventually.
expense we are paying a rent for a Mumbai house because our work also lies here. We need to come travel here very, very often.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of trips which are unsponsored, but because this is like my work, I know if I'll travel, my channel will grow. So, no complaints. I definitely am very grateful and I enjoy. But just while you're looking to the numbers, and also this is a theory that my manager and like my friends have told me. So, I feel like, am I worth it? Am I worth it? That theory always keeps going on my mind. So, when I talk to my friends and my manager, they have told me this one thing that this is not the amount that you're getting to be paid just for this one video. This is for those 3 years as well, where you have been just working hard and nobody used to watch. And then again, when I started Gopali, it took me 2 years. So total 5 years where I was getting no payment at all. So it is also for that particular time as well. So I guess we need to consider this. But yeah, if you work hard, if you do well, बहुत पैसा इस इंडस्ट्री में. अगर आपने क्रैक कर लिया तो आप
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what
You're
they
set.
say, na? It only takes 10 years to make an overnight success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, time lagega, but I do believe like the friends who are with me who are actually working in corporate and like they're also working extremely hard. I do believe that this is a risk that I took back then. I went against like few of my relatives and like my parents also heard few things. Like मेरी मम्मी को बोला हुआ है कितने लोगों ने अपनी बेटी को बिगाड़ दिया है, मेकअप दिलवा देती है, ये ऐसे कैसे. My mother has heard a lot of things. My father has heard a lot of things. So it's not only me who has seen all of that. So I guess ये उन सबका मिलके जो पैसा मिल रहा है वो मिल रहा है और हम सब मिलके अब एंजॉय कर रहे हैं वो पैसे को.
That's amazing. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Have you ever thought about that? Is that
मेरे को नेक्स्ट 10 दिन का नहीं पता होता है कि मैं कहाँ जा रही हूँ क्या कर
But
रही हूँ.
in an ideal world.
in an ideal world?
if-
Yeah,
if-
just like if you close your eyes for a second, be like, okay, 10 years from now, where do I see myself?
शादी हो गई होगी और एक बच्चा तो कर ही लूंगी 10 साल में.
Yeah.
No.
और कपल
She's like, एक बच्चा तो मैं कर ही लूंगी.
हो ही जाएगा.
हाँ और कंटेंट बना रही होंगी. I will make content.
I'm excited for Gopali to make couple content.
Yeah.
So I'm also excited for that.
Master Chef challenge with husband.
Yes. So I will create content. I will be vlogging.
What about you?
In 10 years, I would like to 100% retire. Like,
Oh, wow.
I love this plan
How
as
old
well.
are you? Why are you thinking of retirement?
I am old, my friend. So
No, now give me a number. Now I'm curious. You're like,
I'm only 25, so
you can't be older than me. I'm 34. I just turned 34. I like numbers.
in 10 years, I want to retire fully.
Somebody Google how old Supriya is, please.
In 10 years.
You can't be thinking of retirement so soon, really.
100%. I want to be I want to figure out some streams of income where I just don't have to do anything and the money will keep, I don't know, FD or something.
Rich
if you're
husband.
thinking of, oh, what a plan.
No husband. I want to retire in the hills. One nice cottage and one nice kitchen garden. Lots of dogs.
Aw.
And I have a legacy page. Supar Woman still exists. And I post my dogs once in a while.
Aw.
And I'm retired from
Bro,
public
you must
life.
have some serious investments in place if you're
I'm
thinking
hoping,
of retiring.
Hey, 10 years is a long time. You think it's not, but it's a long time. So I'm hoping that by then, Or actually, you know what? Maybe I would have won one Oscar at least for writing.
Ooh, yeah.
Inshallah.
One Oscar.
Yes.
I definitely want. तो एक मेरा होगा देहरादून में मेरा घर guys. Please, you're welcome.
ये 10 years की
Anytime.
बात हो रही है कि अभी की बात हो रही है?
अभी भी है, but 10 years में मेरा खुद का.
मैं अपने बच्चों को समर वेकेशन पे इनके घर लेके जाऊंगी. Plan sorted.
Please, that's most welcome. And yeah, that's my plan. Like I would like to completely retire from public life.
Because she said various revenue streams, I want to go back just one step, even though I thought I was done. I didn't get around to asking you. I know you diversified. You mentioned all the diverse income streams. What are all of your income streams looking like right now?
So my family has a business, and I do invest there. So that's like a rental business where we do get rents from. So I majorly invest there. I'm not good with, I'm good with earning money. I'm not very good with managing money. So that is something that my bade papa and like my papa, all of them, my chachu, they take care of my money. It's so funny to say, but like, yeah, my chachu and bade papa and all of them, they take care of it. And because I live in a joint family, it's very easy for me to, just invest there. And also my mother, she is my dadi was a core businesswoman. My mother is a core businesswoman. So she also takes care of that family business. And yeah, so people think that when I build this house, they actually, as you mentioned, ki kisi ka paisa hoga. They think that I was born with a silver spoon. I was definitely born with a very nice chamkili silver spoon. But I must say, they think that ye ghar jo hai, ye matlab, this is a house that my father has built. And I'm just telling them that me and Janvi, we have built this house. But I would just like to clear that that house has been built by me and my sister. That was like a gift to my parents. So we were living in a very small and like a very compact house जहाँ पे एक भी sunlight नहीं आती थी. And मेरा और जानवी का as a content creator तो ये goal था, and as a human I love sunlight. We both love sunlight. So we wanted to make a house which has like sunlight. So this was something that we did. But yeah, we do always had a family business. I have helped, me and Janvi, we both have helped that family business grow more. So that is also stream that I earn from. I guess that is a stream that my mother earns from. मेरा भाड़े का पैसा वो रख लेती है अपने पास. So yes, मम्मी कहती है घी खिचड़ी में खिचड़ी घी में. Do you get that context?
No.
I mean like your money, my money, my money, your money. मैं जब चली जाऊंगी छाती पे थोड़ी लेके जाऊंगी, दे के जाऊंगी. So she keeps that my money because उन्हें पता है मैं तो खर्च कर दूंगी.
Any rumors you would also like to clarify about yourself?
No rumors. जो भी सुना है सही सुना है.
कुछ ऐसा है जो भी सुना है सही सुना है? She's like,
सही सुना है, सही सुना है, सही सुना है. आप assume कर रहे हो और करो.
Please speak about me more. Like,
हाँ, सेम बात करो मेरे बारे में और बात कर लो. मुझे बताओ आप क्या सोच रहे हो.
I was talking to someone who recently said, yeah, sometimes like this was an offline conversation, which is why I'm not naming the person. They were like, it's cool. Like at the end of the day, it's engagement, you know, it keeps you relevant. And I was like, I don't want relevance. Don't talk about me. It's okay. Because I just like, it was the whole thing about like gossips and non-gossips. And so I love the space you're coming from. Like, baat karo, that's all I care.
Talk about it. All good.
So I want to end the episode with a little game. I'm going to give you both a yay or nay, hot or not, true or false, whatever it is you'd like to call it. We have, me taking a moment, like it's basically two sides. Just turn it around, one for each of you.
मेरा हाथ तो वहां तक कभी नहीं पहुंच पाता.
Niche is overrated. So, being relatable over being aspirational. Talking to the camera in public. Posting bloopers from your content.
Bloopers ही डालती हूँ मैं.
Working for exposure. Nepo baby content creators.
सही बात है.
Using AI for captions.
Oh, yes. Wait, sorry. Don't use
Yeah, I was surprised by yours.
Don't use AI for caption.
Roast comedy. Love it. So I have a little rapid fire that I also have, but
Yes.
I want you guys to do it individually.
Okay.
I feel like one of you needs to be sent away so you don't listen to the questions.
No, I'll keep my ears.
Rapid fire for Gopali. Be really quick. Be very rapid. I'm channeling my Karan Johar, so you channel your inner
Rani Mukherjee.
Janvi Kapoor, you said that at the start of this episode.
Yes.
So we're going to play a rapid fire. One rumor about yourself which is true.
That I'm not single.
One.
Do I get the hamper directly?
Give her the hammer.
I don't know how to go further.
Karan, give her the hammer.
One rumor about yourself you would like to clarify.
I don't think so. I have any rumor that I would like to. I said, nah, talk.
One word you would use to describe your career so far.
Extremely fun.
One thing you'd like to change about our industry.
पैसे दे दो time पे.
A superpower you'd like to have.
I wish internet could never cancel me or like troll me.
One actor you think would make for a great content creator.
Sara Ali Khan.
One brand on your wish list to work with.
Maggie.
Maggie.
One brand or agency you had the worst experience working with.
No.
One subject you'd like to start a controversy with.
Rakhi Sawant is actually very, very interesting human and I love her.
Okay, fill in the blanks. I'm willing to do dash for 5 million followers.
I'm willing to start a couple channel if I directly get 5 million followers on it.
You will. Trust me.
I'm never going to do a sponsored post for dash.
Sponsored post for dash, for betting apps, for wo dawa khao gore ho jao. They were paying me the most. Abhi tak the most deal, the big amount I've got is the dawa khao gore ho jao wale log.
I think the best creator in my genre right now is Dash.
The girl who's doing very fun cooking videos. Pranjali.
Pranjali.
I think Dash is an overrated content creator.
Janvi Tiwari.
She's going to kill you.
Jokes, guys. I love her.
I think the best creator in the country right now is Dash.
KK Creates.
Should we go over to Supriya?
Yes.
One rumor about yourself which is true.
That actually, no, I don't have no rumors, yaar. No,
Really?
I promise you. If there are, please tell me.
It hasn't reached you.
Yeah, it hasn't reached. Agar hai bhi to sahi hai. Yes, it's true. Whatever it is.
One rumor about yourself you'd like to clarify, but agar rumor nahi hai, to aap kya clarify karoge? One word to describe your career so far.
Serendipity.
One thing you'd like to change about the industry.
Is how people, big creators sometimes copy other smaller creators' content. We need to have a conversation about that.
A superpower, superwoman would like to have?
I would like to film my content, blink, and it gets edited immediately. That's what I would love.
That's a good one. One actor you think would make for a great content creator?
Shah Rukh Khan, 100,000%.
One brand on your wish list?
Rare Beauty.
One brand or agency you've had the worst experience with?
I think I've already mentioned what that uninviting incident.
One subject you'd like to start a controversy over?
Well, so many controversial subjects, actually. I think, what will be controversial if I speak about it? I think, like, maybe if I started, like, everyone should be fat, nobody should be thin. I think, why not? Everyone should be fat.
Okay, fill in the blanks. I'm willing to do dash for 5 million followers.
Like dancing content.
I'm never going
as you said.
I'm never going to do a sponsored post for Dash.
Gambling stuff, yeah.
I think the best creator in my genre right now is Dash.
Megha, the ENG, I hope I'm saying that right. She's awesome.
I think Dash is an overrated content creator.
How can all these names are all in private chats somewhere?
इसके लिए आपको मैं पैसे देने पड़ेंगे फिर मैं बोलूँगी.
5 million followers.
या तो पैसे दो.
I think Dash is the best creator in the country right now.
You know what, Rakhi Sawant, you rock. I will say that.
Rakhi Sawant Pagloos.
Rakhi Sawant Paglu. For
Listen,
sure.
you guys have been such a fun ride, and still there were serious conversations, but fun ride to have this conversation with. I feel like this pair was amazing.
I love Gopal.
Same.
I knew that I wanted to bring together two people for this episode that would be on the same wavelength, and you proved me right. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming on The Real Deal. I have little gifts for both of you over here. I've tried to personalize them basis what I thought would work.
Oh my God,
This one says Supriya.
Oh,
I'm trying not to move my mic, but maybe I will have
pass
to.
it on to her.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on the pod. Thank you for being awesome. And just thank you for having the energy that you have.
Thank you so
Thank you for
much.
inviting us.
Yes.
Maza aaya.
बहुत मजा आया.
Yes.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Yes.